Why hello there. Hey dudes, it's Sui again, here with another God of Year 3 video. Sorry if my voice sounds a little, I guess off. I'm not feeling too well this time around. Yeah, I think I might be getting sick, maybe. Who knows. But hey, that's still not enough to stop me from making today's video. So, as we know, today's video is going to be another Weapon Titan video. And today is actually a pretty cool one. Pretty diverse one enough, actually, considering it's got two forms and burst arts for each form actually. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So for today's video, we're talking about objectively one of the coolest weapons in this game, the Biting Edge. This game's version of dual blades. Well, don't be fooled, they're not just dual blades, there are dual blades that can transform into a glaive. However, the glaive has a downside, you cannot regenerate stamina while in glaive form. However, the glaive is ridiculously good for DPS, so that's kind of its trade-off. But yeah, the Biting Edge, really cool weapon. Since it has two forms, there are separate burst arts for each form, of course, and yeah. So let's go ahead and get into this weapon's burst arts. So first up, we got the ground burst arts. Dagger Dance. Wreathe your blade in Oracle Energy to unleash a series of graceful slashes, increase damage to weak points. Fantastic for DPS. Stinging Storm. Wreathe your blade in Oracle Energy to unleash a flurry of deadly thrust. Increase damage to weak elements. Nice if you like to build for elemental damage. Lethal Flash. A combination attack with a final flurry of blinding fast thrust. Increase damage against downed foes. Improve stage 5 triangle ground attack. Pretty nice, you know, for downed foes obviously. I personally, as you can tell, did not use it a lot. I didn't personally like its moveset, mostly because you kind of have to stay in place a bit. And yeah, personally it just didn't really look too cool to me, so I didn't bother to level it too much. But I can see how it has its use. Halo Assault. Improve square ground attack. Activate Oracle Cells in glaive form to perform a wild of series strikes with increased range and power, high rate of OP absorption. Nice if you like to maintain your Oracle, but overall really this is probably the best burst start for the glaive form, as it does incredible amounts of DPS. However, the downside is you have to stay in place, so it's good use when they're knocked down and or stunned. Overall though, this is a burst start where you can just turn your brain off and just go wild. Chaotic Drive. Activate Oracle Cells in glaive form to perform a series of mobile strikes with increased power and range. Well, range and power, either or. Absorbs the shock of attacks. I also didn't like this one, mostly because of its moveset. Kind of has you flail around a bit. I imagine for big origami it's really good, but for kind of medium size you kind of miss a good amount of hits with it, at least I did. But yeah, it's okay. Cosmic Bolt. Improved Aerial Bolt. Use the Oracle Energy from your God Arc to fire an empowered Aerial Bolt. Pierces armor. This one's actually notably really good as it's easier to use, and also it has innate armor piercing, and personally, anything with innate armor piercing I really enjoy, because you know, you can get right through the damage instead of having to go through a bond. Overall, this burst art is actually pretty good. If you find yourself bored with Halo Assault, you can use Cosmic Bolt. I do enjoy Cosmic Bolt, I'd say it's pretty good. Sky. Improved Aerial Bolt. Unleash an Aerial Bolt while leaping into the air and slicing upwards. Can transition into an aerial attack. The damage on this itself is pretty good. As you read there though, it can be used to chain into an aerial attack, so if you like doing combos from ground to air, this burst start is pretty good. Overall, I'd say this is a pretty good burst start.
Why not have a seat? Why not have a seat?
Mirage Edge. So this is for the Dual Blades form. It's an improved square attack, an attack that unleashes a flurry of slashes while quickly stepping. The burst start itself is kind of interesting. It's a little goofy when you're kind of like moving around with it. But of course, if you can guide yourself with this, the DPS you dish out is actually really good while actually maintaining really good mobility. Overall, I'd say if you're really bored with Dagger Dance, then Mirage Edge itself for the square attack is actually pretty fun to use. The damage itself is pretty okay, not bad, not OP, it's kind of fair. And yeah, it's overall pretty good for the mobility of the dual blade form. Overall, the burst, I'd say it's pretty good. The aerial burst starts. Northern Cross. Perform a forward aerial step while quickly slicing twice in the shape of a cross. Increase damage to weak elements. It's nice for elemental damage. Dive to blue. Wreathe your blade in Oracle energy to deliver a downward smash with increased power and range. Overall, my burst start of choice when it comes to the aerial attack on the dual blade form. An improved aerial glaive attack that allows you to stay airborne as long as your attacks hit. So, it's an improved square attack for the glaive. Really good for origami that are specifically airborne, that annoy you, and yeah, it's good for staying airborne constantly while maintaining very solid DPS. Although not my burst start of choice when it comes to the glaive, I thought it was okay, but who knows, you might find it better. Phantom Pain. Improved triangle glaive aerial attack. Slam your glaive into the ground, strikes origami multiple times on hit. My main burst art of choice when it comes to the glaive form. Very nice. Nice downward slam that does multiple hits. Very good for glaive and the main one I use for glaive.
Right there, huh? Right there, huh?
Lastly, onto the step burst starts. First up is Dual Shock. Slice down into the ground with deadly force after a step. Increase damage against down foes. This is for the dual blade form. This is for the triangle glaive attack, step attack. Transform your glaive into the perfect tool for stabbing and unleash a powerful blow after a step.
Incoming!
Improved glaive triangle step attack. Leap up after a step, then deliver a mid-air downward slash. Increase damage to weak points. Overall, if I am using glaive, this is the main burst art of choice for it. Pretty nice, very fast. Increase damage against weak points. Again, this is the main one I use for glaive.
Right there, huh? Right there, huh?
And lastly, for the step burst starts, Seraphim Edge. Improve square step attack and use the momentum from a step to slice upwards into the air. Can transition into an aerial attack. When it comes down to dual blades, this is the main burst art of choice for me, because its damage itself is really good, but it also can be used to transition to aerial attack, which I like the combo, of course. Comboing with it's pretty fun, going from the step to aerial. my preferred burst art of choice for dual blades, I'd say this burst art's really good. Gonna be it for the burst arts here for Biting Edge, both for the dual blade form and for the glaive form. And if you're gonna ask me which one do I prefer, the answer is the dual blade form. For me, it just feels smoother. I also like to move around a lot with it, a lot of step attacks, a lot of just moving around. So yeah, the dual blade form for me is going to be my preferred mode for the Biting Edge. Overall though, very fun weapon. I can see why a lot of people use it. It's overall just super enjoyable. Good amount of burst darts. Biting Edge is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's my overall overview of the weapon. And of course, at the end of the video, we have gameplay, but since it has two forms, you get two gameplays. For each form, of course, just to balance it out. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and end off this video. My name is Sui, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Going out alone again? Well, let's get to it.
Ooh, my heart is pounding. Do you like to be tied up?
Origami is held.
Oh my, you're stuck, aren't you? Aw, did that break?
Target bond confirmed broken. Origami Oracle response highly unstable.
Inside me.
Target is activating.
Right there, huh?
Round one. Burst is almost gone.
I do bite! Naughty brat! Time to eat! Give me more! How does that feel? Right there, huh? Grovel until the end.
Origami is down. Oracle response weakening. It's almost finished. Target Oracle response clear. Prepare for extraction.
Winning feels pretty nice. I feel so hot. I do bite!
We're waiting for you back home. All instruments okay. Begin when you're ready.
You'll show me some fun, won't you? Do you like to be tied up?
Origami is held.
It boils my. You're stuck, aren't you?
Why not have a seat? Round one. Burst status running out.
Time to eat! Yes! That's it! Why not have a seat?
Why not have a seat? Activating. Target bond confirmed broken. Origami Oracle response highly unstable.
Good night, dear.
Origami is down. Origami Oracle response highly unstable. Origami approaching the operation area. Medium-sized. 3 minutes to operation area. Sending estimated point of entry.
We have to be careful. I do bite! There it is!
Round one. Burst is almost gone.
There! There it is!
Ah!
Good night, dear.
Target knocked down. Origami almost silent. Finish it off. Mission success. Expo. You really gave 110%.
How dreadfully bland. I want to change into something more comfortable.
You can finish a mission like this while we chat.